Good morning. It's Saturday, August 12th. I'm Rhoda, and this is the Something Good Morning Show. Welcome. As you can see, my co-host Rose is not with me today. She is otherwise engaged, and I said I would just do a solo cast today. And she's off the hook, so you get me today. It kind of worked out good, though, because I just got back from a 3-day trip to New York City for a wedding, and so I was like, I'll just tell people all about that, and hopefully that'll be interesting to you. So, yes, where to begin? So I went to New York City for a wedding, and one of my best friends was getting married, and she got married on the rooftop of a hotel, and the background was amazing. Maybe I can show you guys some pictures. Let's see here. It was such an epic background, and I will pull it up for you in 2 seconds. So like that was the backdrop of her wedding. Pretty cool. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was just feeling kind of empowered and getting outside your comfort zone, because I have traveled a lot in my life, relative to maybe other people, and I like the whole planning out and the itinerary, and I'm pretty good with directions, and I don't mind like trying to figure it out and get around a city or traveling. I like the whole process, so I'm not new to that, but I had never traveled like alone and stayed at a hotel alone. And normally either I'm traveling with someone or Rose and I are traveling, and then I'll still figure everything out, but I feel totally fine because someone's with me. I've traveled alone, like I've flown alone, and then when I get there, like someone I know picks me up, so it's not that big a deal. But this was like the first time I just traveled, and when I got there, I had to figure it out, and I was staying in a hotel by myself. And then like the next day I met up with the wedding party and the bride and my friends. But it was just kind of like a different experience. And I was maybe a little apprehensive, only because I had never like just done everything by myself, essentially, which I knew I could do it. That wasn't the issue. It was just safety more is what I'm thinking about. And so I flew in to New York City, and I had to get a ride to my hotel. I really didn't want to like do the whole bus thing and try to figure out transferring with my luggage to different forms of public transportation. So I was like, let me just do Uber or Lyft, and I will pay the extra and just like get to my hotel, and then from there I'll do public transportation. So I think I was a little nervous leading up to the trip, just about like being in a car alone with a stranger, which I know so many people do this all the time, but where I live, you never do that. You just drive everywhere you want to. And so I've taken them with friends with me, but never alone. And so I just wanted to go through a few tips for that, like safety tips. And so yeah, anyways, I called my Lyft, and you can just do it on their app, and they will say, do you want to upgrade for a few dollars to someone who has like tons of 5-star reviews and like has a track record of like good reviews and things. So I said yes, because I'm like, I just need that reassurance right now. And so I upgraded to someone who like has been doing it for a while and has really good reviews. And so then a few things when you are getting into a ride share, either Uber, Lyft, whatever it is, you can verify. First of all, you want to verify the license plate number. So it shows the person's name, your driver's name, picture, and license plate, and you want to just make sure that matches, that you're getting into the right car. So verify the license plate is number 1. 2, you want to ask the driver their name. You don't want to be like, oh, are you Michael? they can just say, yeah, I am. No, you want to be like, what's your name? And you want to make sure it matches with what is on your app. And granted, these people are usually like New York City. They're just from all other countries, so their names are very unique. So it'd be kind of hard to copy that name. And then third, you want to check the child lock before you get in the car. So like when you open the door of a car, on the side, like it's the part you can't see when you close the door. It's like that little side part, and it'll say child lock, and it's like a little lever. And if the child lock, like the arrow will be pointing down, so that means if it's down, that means the child lock is on. If it's up, it's not. And so you want to just verify that it is up, and that you're getting into a car that is unlocked. If the child lock is on, I would probably be like, I think I'll just catch the next Lyft, or definitely ask them to take it off. Or, I mean, it could be totally innocent. They could have picked up or taken their kids to school earlier, just forgot to take it off, whatever. But that is kind of one thing to look out for. Like, the child lock is on and you're not able to get out of the car. So check that. And then you can, with the Lyft app, you can share your ride with someone. So I was sharing mine with my sister and mom back home. So anytime I got into a Lyft, they could see where I was going, who the driver was, what their name was, and when I got to my destination. So that was just like a little bit extra reassurance. And also when I landed, I said, hey, I landed, I'm getting into the Lyft now. And then my next tip is to carry one of these little alarms with you. It's called a She's Birdie, and you literally just pull this out, and it's a high-pitched, really screeching, loud sound. This also flashes, but I mean, like, worst case scenario, and you need to get out of the car, you could like put this up to the driver's ear or something, and obviously that's like extreme, but it's just a little bit extra reassurance that you have something to maybe help you. And then the next tip I have is to put your drop-off location, like where they're taking you, like a block away from where you're actually going. So don't be dropped off right at your hotel. Oh, I'm staying at this Hilton. Oh, good, now they know. It's like, no, just put your destination as like one block before that. Like, so that I put mine a little bit before that, and he's like, oh, where am I supposed to drop you off? Like, where's your hotel? And I was like, oh, this is fine. Like, I meeted up with my friend, and we're gonna walk to the hotel. My friend wasn't there yet, so it's okay to just like tell a little innocent white lie to keep your safety. So I just said, oh yeah, I'll get dropped off here. I'm just gonna go meet them. And then I just let them drive away, and then I go to my hotel. You don't really want to give them any more information than the absolutely necessary what they need. So I don't really go into detail with the drivers about where I'm going, what I'm doing there, like where everything is at, like, oh, I'm alone. No, I just very baseline information. Oh, I'm here for a wedding. I don't say where or anything else. Like, that's it. And then also, there was one other thing I was going to tell you. I was going to say in general, most of the drivers didn't really care to talk. You know, I'd be like, oh, hello, how are you? How's your day going? Good. But they're just kind of, that's their job. That's what they do. So they're not like looking to like have this big long conversation. So I think they're used to people just being on their phones and things, which maybe is kind of nice, them to like communicate a lot, but for them it's just like this is their job. So anyways, I know that was long-winded, but those are like my tips for if you are doing a ride share or maybe you're nervous to get in. I would say like initially I was a little apprehensive, just like I'm riding in a car with a stranger for like an hour to my destination. But it really, like, once I got in and like I verified all information and talked to the driver, like felt very much at ease. And then just knowing like when I got out of the airport and was on the street calling a ride, I'm like, literally all these people around me were doing the exact same thing, getting in the cars. And I'm like, people do this all the time. I'm just not used to it. So I think it's a very empowering experience to just be like, okay, I can do this. See, it's not that big a deal. Just use common sense, follow like these safety tips, and like if you ever felt unsafe, you can actually call someone on the Lyft app, like you can notify them without the driver knowing, and they would send help. So there's a lot of things to do. Also on the Lyft app, they sent me an alert on the way there that said, hey, looks like your ride is taking longer than expected. Are you okay? And I said yes. It was just terrible New York traffic, so there wasn't really anything we could do about it. But that's kind of good too. I would just say always let someone else know where you're at back home, or someone who you're meeting up with, whatever. Just let them know what's going on, that you're riding with someone, like your destination. Just share that information with someone else. Okay, moving on. I know that was a lot. I didn't want to just talk about Lyft the whole time, but I wanted to talk more about like just stepping out and getting uncomfortable outside your comfort zone, and just how good that feels, and just knowing like I can do this. Like I can travel through New York City by myself. I can ride the subway. I can like go to these different destinations and know my way around, and just how that feels really good, and just makes you feel like you could do other things in life too. I mean, obviously I prefer to travel with people, but I am single, so, and a lot of my friends and family are married. Rose is not married, so we do travel together, but it doesn't always work out either. So I think I don't want to miss out on experiences either, being afraid to travel. And so I think just using common sense and being smart is the key. And I love to travel, and I would travel anywhere. My biggest hang up is safety. I want to feel like safe, and I don't mind traveling somewhere new and figuring out what to do. I just want to make sure like I am safe and using wisdom and things. So, and then I also wanted to mention kind of along these lines of just like stepping out, and how much that just opens other doors. It just makes other things possible, kind of. Like if you never step out, you're never going to see what's possible. And I don't know if you guys remember, but we mentioned our cousin Taylor had stepped out and was in this musical. And we went and saw it last week. And we were just talking to her, and she was just saying how once she stepped out in that, like all these other things, like all these other doors opened to her just from that one decision. God kind of just brought all these other things into her life. But first she had to like step out and get uncomfortable and be like, okay, I really want to do this musical, but maybe, this isn't really my thing. I've never done this. But once she did, like all these other things fell into place. And I kind of think that's how life is. You step out and you get uncomfortable and you take action on something, and things start happening. So yeah, hopefully that all made sense. Rose usually is the one to like make things sound eloquent and beautiful, so I'm just kind of spilling out everything. So that was essentially just about getting uncomfortable, and that's kind of where the magic happens. And yeah, I think it's just empowering to know you can do something even like after you do it and you're like, I thought that was gonna be way worse, and it wasn't. It was actually great, and I'm so glad I did it. So that's what I want to tell you guys about. And then I also wanted to show you guys some pictures from the wedding. Okay, let me see. Oh, shameless selfie. Hello. That was my dress. Beautiful background. And then let's see, I'll show you guys some other pretty ones. New York at night. I don't know if you guys have been to New York, but there is literally nowhere like New York City. You could go back there so many times and still see so much new stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, actually used to live in Brooklyn for like 4 months. So I've been to New York many times, so it's not like I was totally unfamiliar. But it still is like a big city to figure out. This was Times Square. And let's see what else we have here. Oh yeah, okay, let me show you guys this. I had a donut. This was a gluten-free old-fashioned donut. I mean, you just don't find that where I live. And so, yes, I treated myself, and it was so good. I mean, there's so many places to eat at in New York. You could go crazy. And there's so many awesome, healthy places too. I know I just showed you a donut, but I got this really good Mediterranean bowl. Oops. Which I can show you guys. But there literally is endless places to eat at. It's just like never ends. Oh, there it is. That's like the Mediterranean bowl is like lamb and all these veggies and this spicy hummus. So good. Yeah, and that was me eating on the bed in my hotel room by myself. I mean, I don't mind being by myself. Like, I like my time. So that's not a big deal. And I thought it was kind of fun, like having this room to myself and just like sitting in this comfy bed eating my dinner. The first night I got Thai takeout and just like indulged and just had this wonderful like king bed to myself. And yeah, so I don't mind so much being by myself. I know some people like cannot stand that, but I like my time. And then, like I said, I got to spend the next 2 days with all my friends. So that was awesome time too. Anyways, this has gone much longer than I expected. Here I was like, I don't think I can talk for like 10 minutes by myself without Rose here. And now we're at the 17-minute mark. So as you can see, I love to talk about travel and all things related to that. So I can talk a long time about travel. But yeah, that's kind of was my experience. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I will say, I forgot I was going to tell you this. The 2 nights that I stayed by myself were these really nice, like, hotels. I don't know, 4 or 5 stars, hundreds of dollars a night, which I did get for free on points through a credit card, a Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card. So if you're interested in knowing more about, like, points and stuff and how that works for travel, like, send us a message and I can tell you about it, or send you a link to sign up for yourself. Essentially, you just like use your credit card like a debit card for your monthly expenses, and you hit like sign up bonuses and you get all these points put into your account, and then you can apply those points for transfer them to like hotels or flight deals, and then get it for free. So I don't pay anything to stay in those 2 really nice hotels with amazing locations, like right next to Central Park, and the other one was right next to Bryant Park and just like a 5-minute walk to Times Square. And so, yeah, that was another thing. I'm really getting more into like the points world of travel, so that's been interesting. Yeah, so make it a great Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me today on the solo cast, and Rose will be back next week with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've been to New York City, if you've solo traveled, if you've made a big decision lately that has made you uncomfortable but has now propelled you into something else. Would love to hear about it. And thank you so much. Have a great Saturday and have a great week and do something good. Bye-bye.